Hi, Ryan. It's so good to speak to you. For everybody who's on this video, I'm talking to Ryan, who is a workforce psychologist from Talent Identify, and he is going to be chatting to us today all about talent assessments and psychometric tests, which can be a bit of a mysterious world for those who are going through the recruitment process. So thank you so much for joining me, Ryan.
Thanks, Lisa. It's a pleasure.
You're welcome. I really wanted to start with getting you to talk about the types of psychometric tests that are out there. What can professionals and job seekers potentially come across, or what could they expect to see as part of the recruitment process?
So there are hundreds, maybe even thousands of different tests that you have come across before. Not all of them built equal, but they usually come down, can be classified under two categories. So the first category would be aptitude tests. So these are tests on what you can do, so skills, intelligence. Very commonly, it's an IQ test. And the second type of test is the personality test. So it's a will-do test, which looks at your behavioral preferences, things like values, what you might call the softer stuff.
Awesome. So then when a candidate has completed those tests, what are employers actually looking for? What are they really basing their decisions on?
That's one word to answer that question, and that word is fit. So all the employers, at the end of the day, they are looking for fit, and that's the candidate that best fits the requirements of the job, the culture of the team, personality fit to the job and team, and also values of the organization. And it depends on the type of test that we're talking about. So the first type of test I was talking about, aptitude, so commonly IQ test. Employers are really, commonly it's just the higher scores that they're looking at, because it's a measure or assessment of your skills or intelligence, like verbal, numerical, reasoning ability, your problem solving ability, mental, cognitive capacity as well. The second type of test, personality test, when it comes to fit, this is a bit more gray in nature, but at the end of the day, it's about whether your behavioral traits or your attributes and your personality and values align with what's required for success in the job. Yeah, when we sum all this up, the words fit here.
So they have a picture in their head of what they need, and they know what they need, and then obviously they want to see utilize these tools as part of that process to see if you fit the mold. I totally get it. Can you scores were kind of mentioned in there, so can you fail these tests?
The short answer is it's relative. So there's no strict pass or fail, in the sense that there isn't a threshold where you're saying above this it's pass, below this it's fail. It's relative to the other candidates, and a good way to think about it is instead of pass or fail, think about match. Which candidate is the best match to this job based on their aptitude, their skills, as well as their personality.
Yeah, so they're not necessarily looking for, if you reach 80%, then you pass, anything below that is an automatic fail.
Yeah, that's right, and it's because it depends so much on the job that we are looking at as well. So different jobs have different requirements, different personalities thrive in different jobs. So it's very hard to say, an 80% in one job can be good and then bad in another job as well.
Interesting. So then, is there such a thing as a good score, or when they're kind of looking at these metrics, is there really a thing called a good score?
Yeah, the good score is the score that most accurately represents who you are as a person, and it's true to reality about how you are.
Interesting. All right. So then what would you say would be your number one tip to professionals or job seekers who are in the throes of the recruitment process? They've potentially, come across a psychometric test that they have to complete. What would be your number one tip to them?
My number one tip to them is to remember that a good score is the score that most accurately represents you, because that would determine how you take the test. So if you're doing an IQ test, for example, the first type of test I was talking about, then you want to be at your best, your best self. So you'll be tasked to solve a series of problems, or it can be mathematical or words, verbal puzzles, and these are all aimed to, ability or skill in something. For that, you really want to just try your best. There's not much else that you can do. Do some practice beforehand if you can. And then the second type of test, is the personality or sometimes values type of test. And that's about your behavioral fit. So the good score is that's the best score is who you are. And just be yourself, answer honestly. And if you're a good fit to the job and you get into the job, you will love it more. There's more of a likelihood that you will love it and stay and thrive and be engaged and be a high performer. If you do fake your results and you get in based on those fake results, then you are going to be unhappy in the long term. Your employer is going to be unhappy in the long term. It's not really going to work out for anyone. Just be yourself, try your best. That's my best advice.
Awesome. Thank you so much for joining me today. It was really lovely chatting with you. And for those who want more information about this subject, we have a blog post that we've put together, and you can also reach out to Ryan directly. So thank you so much, Ryan, for joining me.
Thanks, Lisa.